you, to the right is the east, and the left is the west. What was to the east of Germany?
France.
Russia.
Wrong. Try again. What was to the east of Germany?
Russia.
Russia. Were they good guys or were they bad guys?
Good guys. They're the good guys, right?
Okay, well, in general, they were good guys. So they moved away, the Germans, they moved to the Western Front. All quiet on the Western Front. What was west of Germany? Europe, but what country? It was west of Germany. France, Belgium, Netherlands, okay? That is where they ended up having the trench warfare that you're talking about. Yeah, so that was kind of a significant thing. Okay, Cadet of the Month, where's my flight commander? Haslam, where do you turn this into?
Chiefs box.
Good. Put it in like now, okay? Uniform of the day for Thursday. This is your uniform of the day for first years, or your new t-shirt. Stay warm this Thursday. All right? By the way, we had a cadet. Cadet Hernandez. Anybody here on the wrestling team? Are you on the wrestling team?
Not this year, sir.
One of you guys were on the wrestling team. We had a freshman that won the championship, or won the championship. It's 170 junior heavyweight, first place medals there. So congratulations, Cadet Hernandez, out one of our cadets. So good on him. Make sure you congratulate him next time you see him.
What's his name, sir?
Hernandez. And so anyway, I would suggest everybody in this room keep a track of what's going on by looking at the announcements to make sure they know what the rest of the world is doing versus the online. Let me try to get back to my, there we go, page. Okay, so military studies 102 will be open today. The difference this year, this semester, is that all of your grades are going to be online on this military studies. So what you need to do, especially my hybrid kids and the other classes and the other schools, all of your grades are going to be on your grade book. So you will click down here on grade book, and you'll actually get to a grade book that has all the assignments in it, and your grades need to be perfect on here. I'm going to take it from here, and for you guys, transfer it to our school. Probably do it about once a week or so. But you can see here that it's going to be it's a grid, and we'll be having all the assignments coming straight through.
The only person who has a picture.
To yeah, there he goes. Stephen Conrad Carroll.
I noticed that. I mean, only
there's somebody. Oh, there's somebody else, Jeremy Plum. I have not gotten this to work perfect yet, but I will. I'm very close to it. Okay, and this is even going to have, Cadet Haslam, your grades for their uniforms. Okay, so there'll be what's called offline grading, and we're going to be manually entering them in here. Okay, so y'all, like I hope this Friday, this will be going and up and good. Okay, so please look at these grades online and then let me know how they work out. Okay. All right. Any other questions about online stuff? Boom, done. And while we pull out our grade book, our aerospace science book here to discovering flight here. Chapter 1, Lesson 1, page 5, please. Who's my videographer? Make sure the video is still working over there, because this is what we need to do online. All right, for our chapter overview, we're going to be having 2 different lessons here. Make sure you get in the, you have this part?
The TV behind you, yes sir.
Okay, sounds good. For the chapter overview, lesson 1, we're going to be going over discovering flight, talking about how the humans wanted to fly in ancient times, and then we're going to talk about the early days of flight. This is all part of our Army quarter. The third quarter is going to be Army-centric, and of course the Army Air Corps is what started the whole thing. Who was the Wright brothers' first customer? Who bought their first plane?
The Army.
The Army. Was it the Army Air Corps at the time?
Yes. No.
No, it was just the Army. They didn't even have an Air Corps. They bought the first plane. So that's exactly how it worked out. We're going to talk about trying to fly in ancient times. Who were the people that actually did this? Actually, let's see, you guys are not in my world history class, we're talking today about Leonardo da Vinci. He envisioned flight 500 years ago. And how do planes not fly like birds? How do they fly like birds?
Family air currents.
Air currents? Yeah. We'll figure about this. We'll figure out this. Why do you think, here's a question for, why do you think flying is appealing to people?
The idea of being in the air and having a bird's eye point of view, that is amazing to us.
I mean, is flying appealing to everybody? I mean, wouldn't everybody say, Bean goes, no, I don't want to fly, I would be right on terra firma on the ground, right? But I mean, out of 10 people, I would say that 9 are interested in seeing what the world looks like from up there, right? But you know what's so crazy? Is I really do like scuba diving also. So can you imagine having never, if you're interested in flying, having never seen, imagine if you're down there and you're a bug on the floor here, on the carpet, okay? And you've never looked at the carpet from up above like this. You're just a little itty-bitty ant crawling around. You wouldn't even know what you're looking at. All of a sudden you're walking along and you see that big cable there. You think it's a mountain. And as you're looking down like this, so imagine never having flown to see what, and my son Ryan, when we fly, he looks down and he calls the cars look like tinker toys. Because the cars are so small when you fly, matchbox cars. And so I don't understand why, if everybody generally likes to fly, that most people don't like the idea of scuba diving. How many people here would like to scuba dive?
I would.
Half of you, so? Yeah, I would. Because, I mean, telling you, the majority of the world is unexplored, right? The majority of the world is underwater. And we know what the minority of the world is, but yet most people don't think about scuba diving. It's kind of crazy. I love it. I like just the idea. All right, here's a guy that wants to flap.
That'll work.
Is that going to work?
I got this.
I got
this. YOLO.
How many people? You know, you're sitting there watching a bird flap, and you're going, man, this is me. I got this. Okay? The dream of taking flight, thousands of years. Flight is passing the air on wings. Can you think about a lifetime without electricity, without lights?
No.
That's kind of crazy. So all you have is maybe a fire, maybe. You sit there and talk around a fire about how to fly. It looks like to me if those birds are flapping their wings, you need to flap your wings, right? To fly. But that is really not the miracle of flight. You took my science flight class, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you know all these answers. Thank you very much. All right, Daedalus. Tell me about this Greek mythology. Yes, sir.
The theory of Daedalus, Icarus, was that they were locked in a tower, a super high tower, no way they could climb down. And what they did was they had bits and pieces of bread. They would make birds fly to their windows, and they would steal their feathers. And they'd wait till their feathers flapped up. And when they collected enough feathers, they glued them with hot wax onto their arms. So the wax solidified, and then they flew away like birds. But he told his son Icarus, don't fly too high, or the wax will melt, and you'll fall. And the feathers would fall apart. And Icarus was like, oh, don't worry, I got this, no problem. You know, no, and then he just flew higher and higher and higher. The wax melted, and he plummeted down.
Let me guess, he was a teenager.
Yes. He was. He was like...
When Haslam, did you see the signs going down the Grand Canyon? There are like a dozen people a year die in the Grand Canyon each year. Who dies? Old, white-haired people like me?
No.
Little overweight, obese people, do they die in the Grand Canyon?
No.
Who dies?
15.
19 to 25-year-old males who are the most fit, like my son. I mean, my son was running down the canyon. You know, Luke, you know, you got to wait for the old man here. But I'm serious. I mean, 19 to 25-year-old men die every year in the Grand Canyon because they overdo, just like Icarus there overdid his.
I read a book, sir, that was like that spoke about how the deaths, and mainly what happens is they think, oh, if I just look over here, no problem, and they slip and they fall. And the story was that this woman was looking for her son, I think he was like 25, and she's like, I can't find him. Maybe he went to the snack bar. Went to the snack bar, he wasn't there. Went to the bathroom, he wasn't there. She went to the spot where she last saw him, and she found his baseball cap, like 50 feet down on a ledge where it had fallen. And he slipped head over heels. And
Let me guess, he's a male between 19 and 25.
yeah, her son. And she's like, what's happened to him? Why is his cap down there? Yeah.
Okay, so we tried to,
I don't think there was enough of him left to die. When you fall from that.
okay, back to flying. Stay focused, flying. He's trying to fly. He's trying to fly off the Grand Canyon, right? He's trying to fly off the Grand Canyon. So you think about us trying to fly off the Grand Canyon, strapping feathers and stuff to your legs and arms. It just didn't work. We have actually on page, where is it? There we go. We actually talked Armin Furman. What is a Moor? Where is a Moor? A Moor. What does that mean? What country is he from?
Spain.
Spain. Yeah, the Moors invaded, the Arabs invaded Spain, and he was in Spain. He put a huge cloak, and he could jump off a tower. Did he fly like a winged suit?
No.
No. Did y'all hear about the guy on the weekend with a wingsuit up in Oregon?
No.
He jumped, 3 people jumped out of a helicopter. 2 of them were parachuting. 1 had the winged suit like you see on YouTube. Guess what? He disappeared. He flew off and crashed and burned. And so he's disappeared. He's missing now in the woods of Oregon, which, oh, by the way, are pretty severe. Maybe it's Washington. But here Furman was supposed to be a hero guy, jumped out of a tower, didn't work. Didn't work. But a parachute does work. Has anybody here parachuted?
I want to.
Okay. In training for the military, they take you up behind a jeep, actually, on land, 500 feet high, they cut you loose, and then you go float down. You have to learn to do a parachute landing fall, which means landing on the balls of your feet and then rolling over so that you don't break your ankles. Usually break your ankles. So I've done that a couple times. You done that?
No, up in Lake Mead, my grandpa used to do that with a boat.
Okay, a boat. That's fantastic. Yeah, I've done it in a boat. Well, bottom line there is you're learning not to drown. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So here's some different parachute devices from the ancients. The top right here, that's Leonardo da Vinci. I recognize him on the top right. But you can see, gliders, original balloon, hot air rises. Well, if hot air rises, why not make it rise, right?
Isn't it if the air is the same on the inside and outside of the parachute?
It'll fall.
Yeah, that's right. So you gotta heat it up.
You gotta heat it up. The Chinese, very smart people. They figured out a kite. Lightweight frame, balance in the air, flow in the air. They were using kites in warfare. How could you use kites in warfare?
Distractions, signals, gunpowder.
Ding, 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 yes. And then with that, of course, the Chinese had another big event, gunpowder.
Rockets.
And they made the first rockets. That's pretty cool. Think of that was all happening, many years before the Western world did this. This is out in the East.
Why were they so much more technologically advanced?
This is all on page 8. Using kites to spot the enemy. They actually talk about a Chinese general that used kites to spot his enemy. So he can actually look over the hills. And if you look on page, the original page there, Civil War, they actually have pictures of true balloons during the Civil War doing the same thing here, 1800s. So you have a big balloon that come up over the hill and look at the bad guys across the hill. So it was pretty neat. That was the Union forces were using balloons, just like the Chinese were using 1,000 years ago. Rockets nowadays used for celebrations. Scare off the enemy, just to shoot a rocket at you. And And there's even a legend in the Chinese world about shooting a rocket space up into a rocket trip up into space. Isn't that pretty funny?
Mythbusters strapped old Chinese rockets that they made themselves onto a chair and tried to launch it up to see if there's any truth behind it. The chair exploded.
I can imagine that. I can imagine that. All right, who is Leonardo da Vinci?
He was a very smart individual.
He was a smart dude, right? What time of the world did he live in?
Renaissance.
1500s.
The Renaissance. What does Renaissance mean?
Arts or
Arts?
that's rejuvenation of the arts.
Festival?
Yes.
Renaissance Festival? That's down in Phoenix, right? But what does the word Renaissance mean?
I was there one time. Just,
What does it mean?
Renaissance?
What does the Renaissance mean? It's French. Renaissance. Naissance means birth, and Renaissance means, rebirth. Rebirth or reawakening of the arts and sciences. And Leonardo da Vinci was a Renaissance man. He knew a little bit about everything, but he was a very famous in visualizing aviation. That's his only self-portrait. He painted himself one time. That's the only thing we know what he looks like. But he developed the first known designs for a parachute and a helicopter. He had very detailed books that he wrote in. Oh, by the way, you realize